unaccustomed as I am to public speaking. I have notes here. I'm probably not going to read them, but we'll make this short. I know some of you people are ready to leave already anyway. But, you know, one thing that Ron loved was being the center of attention, so I'm really sorry that he isn't here today. But I'm glad you are. So thank you all for coming. I just want to say thank you to the library and to Brenda for giving us this space to have this event today. They've been very helpful. We're really, really happy about it. Also, Sean did the photos that we're all looking at here, the photo play, and also he did the music, which you can barely hear, but he did a good job with that as well. So yeah, I don't want to say things you already know about him, but we were married for over 50 years, so I was his wife, I was his muse, and I was a widow. So we're all still together in a sense, right? I just thought by way of tribute that I was going to try to, my idea was I was going to try to replicate the look that I had when we met, which was a mini skirt and a beehive hairdo and lime green go-go boots, but I couldn't find the boots, so I tried something else that I more everyday kind of look.
Where did you meet?
I'll get to that. You're skipping ahead of me here. Okay, so Ron was born in Berkeley. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to read this. I can't memorize that much as well. And I was born outside in Morgan City in Detroit. So we met in a kind of a revolving door sort of way. Ron had just left an agency called Guild. Nobody's ever heard of it. So it was a little boutique advertising agency in San Francisco. He had decided he wanted to go to the Big Apple to make his way as a writer. And he had left that job, and I came in to take the job that he had just left. I was the first woman they'd ever hired in the creative department. It was all men. It was that kind of environment. So his colleagues decided that we should meet because we both had the same acerbic, snarky kind of attitude about things. He said, you're perfect for each other. So we did meet, we did date, and we did finally get married after about 6 months. But he had to come back from New York for that to happen, and we had a wedding date in Sausalito. He had got pneumonia on the way and he took the Greyhound all the way from New York to San Francisco. Probably got a lot sicker on the way. But if you've been looking at these photos, you can see in the wedding pictures he still has the hospital band around his wrist. So it was quite a sacrifice. It meant a lot to him. So after that, you can't hear anything. The lights just went out.
Oh, yeah, I turned it off so you can see the picture.
Okay.
The picture's better. No, it's we can see the picture's better.
Oh, okay, all right.
Can you read?
Sorry, I'm on page 2. I'll get there. Okay, so Ron and I were both only children, if anybody cares. Probably has something to do with our getting along with each other. We both started writing about the same age when we were quite young. But unlike Ron, he collected comic books, comic strips, movie magazines, autographs of actors. He was a voracious reader, as you might imagine, sci-fi, mysteries, children's books, everything. His mother that he lost early when he was still in college, that's a really funny picture. I had never seen that until I found it in a box, so it was funny. Anyway, you've seen his sketches here. He was always sketching all the time since he was, I don't know what age, so that's why we have what we have here. And there are even more. I have boxes of them at home, so if anybody's interested in seeing more of them, talk to me. So he never published any of these sketches. It's really sad. But anyway, I was going to say, one of the amazing things about Ron is he had a fantastic memory for anybody who'd ever seen a movie. In fact, when he was in the nursing home, we were watching 42nd Street. This is the point where he couldn't remember what county we lived in Connecticut, but he could identify everybody in the movie, and he could tell you who the art director was, the cinematographer, the production guy. He knew all those details. He was amazing. So he actually wanted to be an actor and a voiceover announcer. For some reason, he always kept bringing that up, that he'd never been able to do that. I don't know where he would have found time, just how he managed to do all those drawings, I don't know. He was actually an actor. I brought the program because it was so funny to find it. He was in My Sister Eileen as Mr. Apopolis. I think that was the name. So he did do that. He didn't go much farther than that. And he always wanted to play the guitar, and he was terrible at it. Because I always had to tune the guitar for him, so you can get rid of that. he never really thought he got the attention that he thought he deserved. I guess maybe a lot of people feel that way. I think part of his drive in life was that he always wanted to get more attention from his dad. I don't think his dad ever really understood what he was doing or why he wanted to be a writer. And his dad had immigrated from the Azores and was basically a farmer still. He was raising rabbits and pigeons, and Sean remembers all of this, and vegetables in his back garden. But when Ron finally got into his alliance going with William Shatner, then his dad took notice, and then he was impressed with him, so that was important to him. In Ron's writing styles, he loved actually writing short stories more than anything, but there's no robust market for short stories then or now, so he eventually started writing novels. His novels are pretty short, again, reflecting the idea that I think he really likes short stories better than novels. I had no idea he'd written that many novels, to tell you the truth. I couldn't be his biographer or his chronicler, I just don't know them. It's not in order in my head anyway. So he wrote pretty much everything, as you can imagine. Science fiction, comics, histories, humorous mysteries. He always wrote for the money, really. He would always say to me, if people asked him to do something, it had a price tag, you know. He thought that was quite important. So he wrote just about everything. He wrote The Hardy Boys, he wrote scripts for movies, scripts for TV shows. Laverne and Shirley, I'd forgotten about that until I dug the book out. So it's quite amazing. He even wrote under a pen name. He wrote some romance novels and westerns, and I mean, it was quite a bit. He turned out a chance to do porn, so he had some scruples. So he also appeared in a number of collections of other people's work and wrote a lot of, prefaces to other people's works. So he's all over the place. So we moved from San Francisco out to Connecticut, and then we're still here. I'm still here anyway. And we moved around Connecticut quite a bit. All right, so you have to have a little miscellany kind of thing that I do in my articles anyway. So 6 things that you probably didn't know about Ron. I know you're waiting to hear this. His mother was a big film fan, and he was actually named after Ronald Colman. It's funny. He hoarded pens. I mean, he really, you know that. Everybody in our family knows that.
Well, we helped that, because we used to buy them.
Yes,
pens.
he was addicted to pens. He couldn't go into an art
Makes
store or, the stationery store without him buying pens. He already had at home. He was, it was crazy. I never understood that.
Desk, and on the
It's crazy. All
It was
colors.
like a size of a door, and on the desk there'd be like a whole section, and there'd be like, seriously, like 400 pens.
But if you asked him for a pen, you couldn't take
Yeah.
one. They were his pens.
Couldn't use the pens.
Okay, his idea of a vacation, so I'm not being negative, his idea of a vacation was to visit old bookstores, which we did a lot of on vacation, the few vacations we took. Even in Europe, we did that. He had a terrible sweet tooth, as you well know. He had a lot of chocolate, and he would hide them. He would hide them from me because I tried to talk him out. I could find them in his pockets and desk drawers and things. I'm sure there's still some around in the house. He handmade all of our cards, all of our holiday cards, birthday cards, our anniversary cards. For my birthday, I have a stack of them. Valentine's Day, whatever holiday it was, he would always make the cards. Yeah, he even designed his own business cards. It's funny. I think I'm almost at the end of my endless speech here. Yep, said that. Okay, Ron's last words were, "I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it." And I think he was right and wrong, because he's gone, the body's gone, but the body of work is still here. And as I think I read somewhere, Orpheus, the poet, said, the song remains, but even when the singer is gone. So it applies to writing as well. He's gone, but you see from that back table, he's left a lot behind for us. So I just hope wherever he is that there are comics and chocolate, and that would make him happy. So thank you, that's it. Next.